Joining me now to speak on this topic is Nalin Kohli, lawyer with the Supreme Court. He's also with the BJP. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, on this show. My first question to you, Rahul Gandhi took charge as the leader of opposition today. The optics of it, him shaking hands with the Prime Minister, later talking about the need for the Speaker to respect the voice of the opposition. How do you see oppositional politics playing out from here on?
So there are several facets to the answer that will follow to your question. The first is that, look, the Congress party's seats have increased in Parliament, and therefore the leader of opposition naturally would fall on them. Now, it's interesting to note that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has taken that responsibility because so far, since 2004 to 2024, there hasn't been really any step by Mr. Rahul Gandhi to take a formal position in that sense in Parliament or in government. That is for the Congress party to decide. In any case, the Congress party's politics is centered around the Nehru-Gandhi family, which is the first family. So these roles either fall onto someone from there or someone whom they deem fit to lead that post or hold that post. The second is what will he make of it and the optics. Well, one hopes that those optics will turn into substance. Being in a campaign mode prior to the election, Mr. Rahul Gandhi or any leader, in that matter of fact, will raise questions more from an optics perspective and from a vote appeal perspective, which may be very different to governance and the importance of what an opposition plays on substantive issues.
Right.
So one will have to see how that evolves. Only time will answer. Will it be about noise? Will it be about sloganeering? Will it be about actually comprehensive discussions, detailed discussions, debate, questions, which is what the role of the opposition is and what the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji himself said.
Absolutely.
That, the country is looking for an opposition in that sense.
Right.
That only time will answer. Otherwise, your question will stand answered with time that it was only optics, the handshake.
Right. But sir, Rahul Gandhi will also be part of committees that will decide the heads of Vigilance Commission or in HRC. How do you see that affecting your party's governance agenda? And also with all these responsibilities, do you finally see Rahul Gandhi as someone who has shed the tag of part-time politician? This was an attack that your party initiated against Rahul Gandhi.
That's for him to answer through his actions, not words. Whether he's a part-time politician, whether he's a serious political person, whether his politics has substance or not, it's really for his actions to speak for it, not his words also. So I really can't really pass a comment on that. With regard to his role as a formal member of these various selection panels or committees, which involves the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Chief Justice of India, and now the leader of opposition would be there. And in this case, it would be Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I don't see any change in the Congress party's stance, which is they would raise their questions. They would constantly make an allegation that we were not consulted or things like that. But if there is a change in that, it would come as a pleasant surprise.
Right. Also, sir, Rahul Gandhi also insisted on publicizing the narrative that democracy is under danger, constitution is under threat. Now, this is the same thing that is believed to have impacted the BJP's popularity electorally amongst deprived sections of the society, including in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. How do you see this challenge growing with Rahul Gandhi as a leader of opposition now?
I won't agree with the second part of your question, which is our party or the BJP in this case lost out because of the plea that democracy is in danger. I think democracy is as strong as ever, in fact, perhaps stronger than ever. The opposition party is winning. The question to be asked of the opposition party is when they say democracy is in danger, how did their seats increase? They said the EVMs are fraudulent or suspect. They've raised petitions. Then how did they win? So I think from a sense of the query that they raised or the slogan that they raised that the EVMs are suspect, the election commission is not fair, democracy is in danger, they actually owe at the very least an explanation to the people of India, the voters of India, and an apology to the election commission. I think that's the starting point. Now let's come to the question with regard to the democracy in danger and the constitution. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is popularizing a small book-size handheld version of the Indian Constitution. It's not a book. It's a living document. And it's a document that means a lot. It goes beyond the words there. They are not empty words. They are words with import.
Right.
So I think a starting point to understand what democracy in danger is to go to the emergency provisions in the Constitution and read under what article in 1975 on 25th June emergency was done, and what does that emergency provision translate into. It followed the Rajnarayan judgment. And Mrs. Gandhi, then Indira Gandhi, the late Prime Minister, invoked it. So I think that would be a good starting point. And democracy in danger can't be a slogan so lightly used on the cuff of someone's sleeve.
Yeah.
It has to have import. And once you hold the Constitution, it's a solemn document. I think then the holder of that document must give it the import of what it deserves and the respect what it deserves, and not use Constitution as a loose word like yaar tum kya kar rahe ho, or colloquial. Constitution's a heavy word. So when you start living by the Constitution, then it would add substance to whatever the person who's holding that book or is quoting the Constitution, it would translate into. And I think that would be good for democracy, that would be good for parliamentary democracy, and it will be wonderful for the political leaders who also adhere to it.
Absolutely. But sir, this emphasis on social justice, reservations, caste census, something that has become very central to Rahul Gandhi's politics, all of that is bound to increase, right? How does your party see that challenge?
So speaking as I said earlier also in this interaction, Vasudha, raising points during public rallies and all are very different to Parliament. Parliament has its own, it's a very significant institution. It's a critical institution. It's an institution of great value because that's the temple of democracy. So I think one will have to wait to see how it translates there. Reservations have never been in danger. I don't know where this debate came from. Personally, I think this is a manufactured discourse that, reservations will be removed, the Constitution will be changed. There are individuals within the BJP who went ahead and came up with these, statements that we'll get 400 and all. But where has the party ever, on a structured basis, said we would like to change the Constitution? In fact, the only change which is substantive to the Constitution of India, besides in terms of amendments that have taken place as per the constitutional provisions and parliamentary process, is the amendments in 1975. Those are the only amendments that have altered the character of the Constitution. And that requires a serious discourse. But if the opposition parties and the Congress party itself wishes to bury its head like an ostrich in the sand and ignore the reality that emergency was imposed under Mrs. Indira Gandhi's rule, and therefore is hesitant to accept that truth and have a meaningful discourse around it, how can they ever have a plank saying democracy is in danger? Because actually the only time it was in danger was when a democracy was suspended and civil rights were suspended, fundamental rights were suspended in 1975 under Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
Okay, my last question to you. I also see you as someone who understands politics beyond a certain party's frame. So what do you think are the challenges for Rahul Gandhi as he now also has to keep parties such as Samajwadi Party and TMC together, and these parties have not been often aligned with the Congress's way of thinking? And what does this mean for your own party's attack on dynasty politics?
So first, thank you for those kind words, Vasudha. And when I answer at the end, I will keep aside my political hat and try to be neutral on it. Although, in fairness, those on the opposition side will never see that as neutral because I do have a political identity also. Nevertheless, one at a time. First is there are two kinds of political parties in the country. They are parties that are family-oriented, family-centric or family-controlled. And the other is ideology-based. In ideology-based, it really is the BJP or the left-front parties. The left-front parties have diminished in their space. They are now broadly only in terms of actual presence and governance in Kerala. And they have lost out in West Bengal and Tripura, which were the other bastions. With regards to the BJP, we are an ideology-based party, not a specific family-oriented party. Now, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just simply saying there's a reality. In a family-centric party, either the top post is reserved for a family or it is reserved for someone who enjoys the blessings of the first family. So these are the two models. I think these are the models that present themselves before people and people then decide to vote. Now, the next was a larger question and you were expecting a sort of a neutrality in my comment about Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his challenges and all. Look, it's not personal. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is a citizen of this country. He has the same rights as you who's asking the question, or me who's answering the question, or those who are sitting on your in your studio, or on your production panel. So we are equal citizens under law, and that's the beauty of the Constitution. The question is, one may get an opportunity out of the virtue of, say, being born in a particular family, or being born at the right time in the right place. But what you make of that opportunity is a completely individual fact. So I think if Mr. Rahul Gandhi wants to prove, and that is for him, it is his journey. It's not for me to advise or anyone else to advise. But if he has to really come across as a serious leader, his actions will have to speak louder than the words. And I think that holds true for anyone. It holds true for you, for me, or anyone else.
Thank you, Mr. Kohli, for speaking to NDTV. So Rahul Gandhi has new responsibilities and a role that will probably for the next few years define the response and direction of opposition's politics.